Hi guys, welcome back to another video. On this video we're going to be doing the brake cylinder on the rear drum. So my brakes have been going down low on my vehicle, and I noticed that the fluid level has been dropping. I walked around the vehicle, and at the bottom here of this you can see the puddle of brake fluid. I inspected all the lines coming to the drum itself, and I see no issues. I did replace that line previously, so I thought it may be a loose connection, but everything is fine. So that leads me to believe that the cylinder in here is actually faulty. So I did go to Goldwagon and I bought myself, you can see, a wheel cylinder. So guys, this is what it looks like. At the back is a nipple that is normally used for bleeding brake. Normally you pump the brake, and while someone is depressing the pedal you loosen this, and generally what happens is these are in, and when you press the brake they push out. The brake fluid pushes that out, and you've got what do you call them, seals or rings, rubber seals in here that allow the piston to move in and out. And what happens is those seals actually get damaged, and sometimes fluid bypasses and leaks out the side, and generally you then see it puddle at the bottom of the drum and then leak out the drum itself. I haven't opened this up, I'm not sure if that is the issue, but I assume it's the issue. So guys, let's open this up and have a look. Okay guys, so what we need to do is we need to remove the wheel. We need to remove this cap, so I'm just going to use a flat screwdriver and a hammer and take this out. There we go. Let's just wipe this extra grease off here. Okay, guys, there's a pin in here, so let's get that off. Okay, there we go. Next you can slide this off. Okay guys, ensure that your handbrake is down. So let me go get my handbrake down here. Alright guys, so the handbrake is down. This can turn. Let's get this off now. Alright guys, this is to pause the video to get a shift in here. Alright. Here's a nut, and there's a washer in here. Washer and the bearing. Let's keep them clean and out of the dirt. Okay, now we can pull out our drum. Alright guys, so this drum didn't want to come out. I had to put the bearing back in to get the drum centralized and then pull it out. If not, it was coming at an angle and getting stuck. So guys, if we look here, we can actually see. Guys, can you see the drop? They went there. There, look at the drop that's forming. That's actually the brake fluid. And look at the amount of gunk it's caused in here. I did clean all this up before I put it together. So what I'm going to do now, look at my linings as well. So what I need to do now guys is I need to take some brake cleaner, clean up the entire thing before we go any further. So let me do that. I'll do that off camera. It's a tedious and messy job, and I'll bring you guys back once we're done. Alright guys, I've been struggling to get these X nuts or bolts out of the rear of the drum. So this is a spare drum that I had lying around. As you can see at the back, this is where your brake line goes in. This is your nipple for bleeding, and the oldest spec one, which I have there, have two nuts, one there, one there. This is the newest spec. As you can see, it only has one nut. I've removed one of them. As you can see, there's only space for one nut. So as you guys can see, I've basically stripped the brake shoes from this one, and I'm going to take this backing plate and actually put it on my car, as it's easier than trying to actually get these nuts out. I don't have time to sit there and chisel at them. I've tried using splines, and yeah, it's just stripping. So let's get this in, guys. Alright guys, so replacing this is as simple as putting this in here. As you guys can see, the thread revolves line up. There we go. This one. Okay, there we go. So guys, I'll just tighten this up. There we go. Let me just tighten this up and then we'll put it onto the car. Alright guys, let's do the next one. So I'll hold the pin at the back. Push this in. I'm trying to prevent the pin from spinning. You guys, as you can see, this pin goes through here, through the front, and it locks. So I need to push it in, turn, pull out. Now we need to get the brake shoes out. It's not going to be fun. Right, so we pull the front over that, and now this slides out. And as you guys can see, here's the handbrake cable. So you guys can see this. Right, so here is the handbrake cable. So I just need to push that underneath. It's a little lip like that. Just need to push it underneath and out. Okay, let's see which cylinder is leaking here. The cylinder actually looks like it's seized. Oh, there it popped out. Yeah, but it shouldn't be this hard. So this here is actually seized. So guys, now we need to let's get the handbrake cable out and we shall continue. Alright guys, so that's out. Here's the handbrake cable lying loose. So then we've got 4/15. Let's get that out quickly. Okay, there we go. Okay guys, here is your stub axle that goes on here, and there is the backing plate. So we'll clean up the stub axle, put it back, put on the new backing plate, put on the 4 bolts, and then we'll come back. Alright guys, so the 4/15 zone, the cylinder is here. Here's your handbrake cable. I hate doing this job. So guys, a quick explanation of how this works. Here's your lever at the back with the handbrake cable goes into. So it sits here at the back. You can see this. So what happens is, when the cable is pulled, it pushes the tops out, and that makes contact with your drum and causes your handbrake to hold. Also guys, you can see this little pin is like a shim here. It has a spring on it. As your shoes weigh off, they move apart and that drops down. It's actually like a shim, and that causes it to hold constant pressure on the brake. So that compensates for the wear on the brake. Yeah, right, let's get this in. Firstly, let's get our handbrake in. Alright guys, sorry, I didn't realize I was not recording, but everything is back in. It was just basically reverse of what I did before, so no rocket science there. So guys, let me just show you the old backing plate that I took off. And here is the cylinder. Remember I told you that this was actually kind of seized here. Let's see what happens if we look inside. I hope you guys can see the gunk that's in there and the rust as well. So what happens is, this cylinder gets pitted and rusted, and the surface is no more smooth, and liquid therefore bypasses. So what we have is, we have that plunger, then you have this spring and this plunger on this side. either what happens, either the cylinder itself gets damaged on the inside, as can be seen, or this seal itself, focus, gets damaged. So I think you can buy these, but most of the time I would say it's not advisable. So guys, the reason for the corrosion on the inside here is brake fluid is hygroscopic, which means it absorbs moisture from the atmosphere. That's why they tell you to change your brake fluid after a certain amount of time, because it actually gets moisture in there. And that's the reason as well for these bolts not opening as well, because these things are rusted solid. And that's the reason I actually decided to change the entire thing. Sometimes as well, these nipples, they get seized and break off, and you can't bleed your brakes. So guys, yeah, it's very important for you to take care of your brake fluid and change it on time, or else this will happen. Guys, this car was actually sitting for more or less 9 years. Hence the reason for all of these issues. I should have changed that cylinder when I had the chance. I most probably will have to do the other side as well. So guys, I'm just going to put everything back in, and then we will bleed the brakes. Alright guys, everything's back on. As you can see, my drums are drilled 5x100. Okay, so I'm going to use this brake bleeder kit here. I purchased this from Martendorf. So the first thing we're going to do is take this rubber off the nipple, put this over here, then connect this. Right, so we've got the container. Let's put that properly. We've got our container and we've got our suction there. So the next thing we need to do is open the nipple slightly, and for that we're using a number 8 spanner. There we go. Crack it open. And now let's start sucking in some fluid. So as you guys can see, all the air bubbles. You need to suck out fluid until all the air bubbles disappear.